Welcome back to Manni Yoga. Today I want to do a very short program, probably about 20 minutes, for the little ones. Children from ages to probably 3 to maybe 6 or 7. I think anybody older than that can do my regular gentle yoga program with some modifications. But for the little ones, it's nice to get them into the idea of relaxing their minds as well as just moving their body into the different positions that we're going to do during the practice. Now, the way we're going to conduct the practice is I'm actually going to make believe we're going on a journey, a hike through the woods, etc. And we're going to see a lot of things in nature, animals, trees, mountains, etc. And we're going to try to imitate as many of those as possible, getting the kids to move their bodies in ways that are similar to some of the yoga positions, and some of them are exactly the yoga positions that we would normally use in a regular yoga practice. So, I ask that the parents or older brothers and sisters stay with me after we're done, because I just want to talk to you for a few minutes. But in the meantime, kids, how about sitting on your mats, crisscross applesauce with your feet, rest your hands on your knees, and just close your eyes for a minute. And I want you to just breathe through your nose. Take really big breaths in and out, but only through your nose. Keep your lips together so you're not breathing through your mouth. So this is something you can do if you ever get upset or angry or annoyed or bothered by anything, and you want to quiet yourself down and calm yourself down, even if you had a little tussle with one of your brothers or sisters or your mom or your dad. This is a great way to do it. Just sit quietly like this. So, in order to start our journey, the first thing we have to do is get a good night's sleep. So, let's lie down on our mats. And when we lie down, we always want to turn our palms up. The palm is the flat part of your hand toward the ceiling. Close your eyes and breathe the same way you were before. Now, if you have trouble sleeping, and a lot of kids do, you might want to try this when you go to bed at night. If you can't fall asleep, just lay like this, close your eyes, and just breathe through your nose. Nice, long, slow breaths. So we're pretending, we're making believe we're sleeping right now. But you may actually feel yourself getting a little bit more relaxed, a little bit tired maybe even. So now we're going to make believe it's morning. And what do we do in the morning? First thing, we usually stretch our arms. Oh. Rub our eyes, wake up a little bit, and let's sit up. Okay, so we're all outside. We were in a farmhouse sleeping, and we're going to end up in the farmhouse, a different one. We're going to hike from one farmhouse to the other. So while we're sitting outside, however, we're going to look around. And what do you see? Well, off in the distance, I see some mountains. Big, tall mountains. And on those mountains, I see a lot of big, tall trees. And up above the mountains, you can actually still see some stars in the sky, even though it's morning. Sometimes they're still around. And you can slowly see the sun coming up over the mountain. So, why don't we try to make believe we're those different things that we just saw? So the way we're going to do that, I'm going to stand up. First, we'll make believe we're mountains. So we're going to stand up nice and tall. Really nice and straight. And we'll just put our hands together like this. And try to be as tall and straight as possible, like a big, giant mountain. And then on the mountain, you can see a lot of different trees. So why don't we make believe we're trees? So in order to do that, first we're going to do this. We're going to take our feet. We're going to take one foot, it doesn't matter which one, and put it against the other leg, like that. Then we're going to put our hands together. Now, there's a whole bunch of different trees out in the woods, you know that. And on the mountain we can see all kinds of trees. So let's start by making a pine tree, which is the kind of tree we have at Christmas. So we go up with the hands, nice and pointy, because that's how pine trees are. But then if we look around on the mountain, we see big oak trees, and they have big, giant branches that come off of them. And then if we keep looking around, we even see some weeping willow trees. And weeping willow trees have branches that hang down, and their leaves hang down like our fingers. Now, let's come back to where we started. And let's see if we can see the sun and the stars. So, first, the sun. Let's make believe this is the sun right here. And it's slowly coming up over the top of the mountain because it's getting more and more bright outside. The sun is all the way up in the sky. And then if we look up at the sky, we can see stars too. And the stars are twinkling. You see my hands, my fingers moving. And sometimes we can even stand on our tippy toes and do this. Yeah, good. So, now that we're ready for our journey, let's start walking. So we're walking along, nice and slow, we're walking through the woods, looking at the trees, listening to the birds, and then we hear something coming through the woods. So, let's get down on the ground like snakes and see if we can hide in the grass. So we're down here. Now remember, the snakes don't have any arms, so we have to put our arms back by our side. But we want to look up and look around, see if we see anything walking around. And remember, you can make the different noises of the animals too. You know what a snake sounds like, right? It makes a hiss. Let's put our heads back down. So it's very quiet. We don't hear anything anymore. But let's take another look. So we're going to lift our heads up again. Like a snake looking around. Yeah. Let's put our heads down again. So now, we're back up. And we're walking again. So we're walking along. And all of a sudden, we see some water. And in the water, there looks like there's a bunch of different animals in the little water too. First thing we see are some frogs. So we're going to get down like a frog. And you know what sound they make, right? Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. And sometimes they even hop. They go from one lily pad to the other and hop around. So we're looking around, we see the frogs. And then, now this is a strange sight to see, but I think I see a crocodile in the river. So let's make believe we're crocodiles. So, put our hands like this, because the crocodile has those big jaws and they open and close. And when they open, the fish swim in and they eat them, just like that. So, we're going to get back up on our hands and knees now. And then we're going to come up back on our feet like a frog. But this time, I think I see some little crabs crawling around. And they're just crawling around. They don't really make any sounds. They're just crawling from one side to the other. Good. So, let's go back to walking. We've got to get to this farmhouse before it gets too dark. because we don't want to be out in the woods in the dark. So we're walking along, nice and easy. And we come to the end of the forest and we see the farmhouse way far away. And we're looking and seeing, what are those things we see there? Well, the first thing we see are dogs. And they're laying in the sun, just resting. They love to lay in the sun. And sometimes they'll hear birds flying overhead. And when they do, they look up at the birds. Woo, woo. They bark. And they go back down again. And they go back to sleep because doggies love to sleep, especially in the sun. Once again, they hear more birds. What do? They straighten their arms, they look up at the sky. Look at all those geese flying by. You know what sound the geese make? Honk, honk, honk. Now, there's some other dogs over here that are on their 4 legs. And they're going to stretch. So what they do is they put the back paws into the ground and they lift themselves up and they stretch their bodies. Oh, doggies like that. Feels good. So now, as we're looking down, we're getting closer to the farm, we see some other animals. I think I see a cat. Now the cat is just standing there. They're very quiet. They look around and then all of a sudden they stretch too. And the way they stretch is they stick their back way up and they put their head down. Meow, meow. And then they come back to a regular position. Now we also see, yep, you got it, cows. Because it's a farm. And the cows lift up their bottoms, they lift up their heads, and they try to make their back go down toward the ground. Moo. Moo. That's the sound a cow makes, right? I hope you guys are making these sounds at home, because it's going to sound pretty funny if I'm the only one making them. So, we've seen dogs, we've seen cats, cows, crocodiles, crabs, snakes, stars, sun, trees, mountains. There's one more thing we have to see. But we first have to go down to the farmhouse and meet the farmer. And he comes out, shakes our hand, says, "You guys can sleep here tonight. You look like you've had a long journey. Why don't you just sit down and rest for a little while? And I'll have my wife make us all some nice food to eat." So, we're going to sit once again, crisscross applesauce, and we're looking around, we're enjoying, just resting. It was a long journey, and we see some butterflies. And the butterflies are flapping their wings up and down as they fly around. And then we see some birds. And the birds are flapping their wings as they fly along from tree to tree, just having a good time. So finally, after we've eaten and brushed our teeth, put our pajamas on, we're going to go to sleep. So, we need to rest first. So first we have to get ready to go to sleep, and we're going to sit like this, put one hand on each knee, and close our eyes again. And just take nice, long breaths in and out through our nose. This helps us get ready to go to sleep, because sometimes it's hard for us to sleep. We can't fall asleep because we have so many ideas in our head and so many things we want to do. But the quicker you go to sleep, the quicker you'll wake up the next morning and you can do all those things you were thinking about. So, let's lie down again, the same way we did before, with our hands, our palms, remember, facing the ceiling. Our eyes are closed. We get nice and comfy. Oh, I gotta get my bed just the right way so I feel good. Here it is. All right. So I want you to just close your eyes and breathe in and out through your nose. Now the next morning comes and we're going to start to wake up. But the way we want to wake up is first we want to just wiggle our fingers a little bit. And then you can wiggle your toes. And stretch. Oh, because it's the morning. And this is how we get up. And then we're going to slowly come back up. And sit. Crisscross applesauce again. Same way we were earlier. So, I hope you guys enjoyed our little adventure. And remember, now that you've done this with me, you can have your mom or dad or one of your older brothers or sisters put this on the YouTube channel, Tom Manni Yoga, and they can let you do it by yourself. You know what to do, you just have to listen to my words. So you guys did a great job. Let's put our hands together. At the very end, we always say thank you. And the way we say thank you in yoga is by saying namaste. So, namaste. Now, I just want to say a couple words to the grown-ups or older people in the room. I hope you enjoyed this. I think it's really important for our kids to start yoga as early as possible. I wish when I was young that they had had more yoga practices available and I would have benefited from it. I'm certainly sure I would have benefited as I went through my teenage years, which can be very tough. I also want to mention that I have a friend named Maura Bradley who has a yoga studio strictly for kids called BU Yoga on Main Street in Manasquan, New Jersey. I encourage you to check it out. It's a great start for the kids. Good place to go to get them started with yoga, and I hope to see you all soon. Once again, namaste.